Hello, I have listened to the first 3 hours of The Gldn Hs by Salman Rushdie, which is detailing the Golden family, who gets eventually revealed within this 3 hours, are a Bengali family who has moved to New York City, and the head of the family, the patriarch, is Nero Golden. They've all given themselves names. The father first amongst them, and giving himself the name Nero gives you an idea of his character and the force of his personality, though his madness seems to be somewhat a quiet one. There's four Nero men, the father, and then the three sons. The two older sons, Petrarch and Apu, are older, I think somewhere in their 40s, where Dionysius D is in his 20s, and it is a flood of Rshd, um, just piling on stuff, all narrated by Ray, who is a kind of a a guy of the neighborhood, somewhere around a couple of years older than D, who's attached himself to the family, who's got two American Belgian parents. Well, they've been American for a while. The father has a weird mid Atlantic accent, regardless, while the mother sounds much more kind of New York. New York. I can't do a New York accent. And we've spent the first 3 hours, indeed, just getting introduced to the four Goldens and to Ray, and indeed, before you can think, you can say, Great Gatsby. He's already referenced the Great Gatsby, and we get all the stuff about kind of Roman emperors and gods and Bangladeshi and the original mother of Petrarch and Abu, has, at first, it's a thing of, she had 1,000 lovers, and when he was told he had to be held back to not kill the person, the guy who finally persuaded him of the fact. But then it actually turns out that they'd had a fight. She went off to a hotel, and there was a terrorist attack, and she was one of the people murdered in the terrorist attack, and that sort of broke the family, and so they kind of self-exiled themselves to New York. And then we have Petrarch, who is somewhere maybe autistic or Asperger's, who's majorly into computers, like video games, but also into Byronic poetry, and is a agoraphobic. And then there's Apu, who seems to be a great artist, who does portraitures of like all the really wealthy people around them, and they can be very harsh portraits, but people still line up to do them. And he likes to always do the wealthy rich women scantily clad or naked. And they've got a Somali artist woman who's in between them, that they seems to have kind of split them and kind of broken them a little bit there. And Dionysius has got who is very kind of gender fluid himself, has got this woman who's all into identity, and identity is the new God. And though actually God turned out was a bit of a gender bender himself. And I wonder if Rushdie, in some ways, because he has such kind of rich classical and just world literature, he feels himself to be a bit of a dinosaur in an age of people talking about, like, well, this is all dead white males, and gatekeeping literature, and that he might be someone who's looking on the inside out of this stuff. It's a torrent, and at first I thought, oh, is this too much of a torrent? But then I thought, no, let this be a torrent. Let it be playing at the fastest speed, and I will just let it wash over me, and I'm not going to get hung up on it too much. And it's got that verve and that energy, and the baroqueness, and I do think of his pal Angela Carter, who was even more wild, and so I'm just going to go with that. So yeah, that's the first 3 hours of The Gldn Hs by Salman Rushdie.